Hello and happy new moon in Aquarius. Happy eclipse season and happy Lunar New Year. We have so many things to celebrate right now and huge energies. So first I want to start off with our new moon in Aquarius. New moons again are going to be about fresh new energy that we can use. This is untapped potential. This is planning things out and getting ready to move into a space that we want to be in. So with Aquarius, we have a fixed air sign. And this fixed air sign also tends to rule kind of collective thinking or like hive mindset. And with this energy, we want to be thinking about how we want our communities to look. How do we want the collective to look and act? And I want you to imagine your ideal society, your ideal place to live, your utopia. Now, once you do that, I want you to realize this is your vision, right? This is your vision created from your previous programming, your upbringing, things that you've learned all the way, your passions, your everything about you that makes you you. That's how you made this vision, is by yourself. Now I want you to remember everyone's vision is going to look different. Everyone's ideal vision will be different. Yes, we have like-minded people, like-minded friends, like-minded communities, and that's how these things come about. But for that official vision of the future and what you want it to look like, that is yours. That's personal. And I want you to realize that every single person has their own personal vision that they are striving for. So I know this can seem very overwhelming, especially where we're at right now as a society, and there's a lot of conflict going on. But again, get close to your communities. The more people that you can share your vision with, and the more people that are on board with your vision, as well as listening to others' visions, right? We want to have our minds and our hearts open to what other people have to say based on their experiences, based on their perspectives. And that might shift our vision a little bit. But we want to find like-minded souls, people who are on the same path as us. Those are going to help propel our visions. They're going to help bring those manifestations in faster. Collective manifestation is always going to be faster than individual manifestation. But again, we also want to be aware that others have their own visions and they have their own collective experiences, and they're also manifesting. So be open, have an open heart to everyone, and realize that we're all different, but all the same at the same time. Next, I want to talk about the eclipse portal that we are currently in. So these manifestations that I'm talking about, all of these things, these collective visions, this is a really intense time that these visions can come to light or can become something from nothing, right? Eclipses are really intense energy, and they will knock you on your butt if you are not prepared. And sometimes to get change and to do a lot of change at one time, you do have to be knocked on your butt. But like I said, just prepare for the work that's going to come with that. This eclipse portal is going to last until our next full moon, which is going to be on March 3rd. And so we'll be in this energy for a little while. So if things are feeling shaky or just particularly intense, that's why. It's because we are in the middle of this eclipse. And next, I want to talk about Lunar New Year. We have officially entered the year of the fire horse. I absolutely love this energy that we're in. We're coming from this giant shed. Even as a collective, it feels like a giant shed where systems are starting to crumble and it's leaving us completely scrambling as a society. But these shifts are happening in us as well, right? Things are being have been taken away from us, and now we're kind of at the point where we need to realize what's truly important to us and to us as a individual and to us as a society. When we think about the energy of the fire horse, we think about the intense, fast-moving, free energy, wild. That's typically what we think of when we think of horses. But we also have to think of the other aspects that horses carry. Horses are gentle, sensitive creatures, and they're also extremely intuitive. So with this energy, at times this year is going to be feeling very intense, like we're barely holding on or we're getting run over by life. And if this happens to you, then we need to take our time and step back. We need to take a pause on our life and say, I need a minute to breathe, right? Take yourself out to pasture, eat really good foods, be out in nature, be out in wide open spaces where you can get a clear vision. You don't want to be in this kind of intense, horses don't live in caves, right? Like they prosper in fields. And so you need a place where your mind can run free, where your body can run free. And again, connecting with nature. Also, if things are super, super too intense for you, this is a fire horse. So what do we need to do? Get some water. Take a bath. Drink lots of water, be around water is always going to help as well. If this energy is feeling good for you and it seems like it's going at a good pace, then this is your time to ask yourself, am I the horse or am I riding the horse? Right? Am I steering the direction that this horse is going, or am I just this kind of energy that's going. And figuring out that position is going to be extremely important as well, because sometimes we will be the horse and sometimes we'll be riding the horse and sometimes we need to get off the horse. So with all this energy, it's just a beautiful, again, time for us to figure out where we want to go as a collective and where we want to go individually. Finally, as always, I drew some cards for the collective, and I got all reverse cards this time, which isn't a bad thing. This just shows me kind of where we are at. So first card out is the Two of Pentacles. And with this card, it's all about decision making and having infinity choices, infinity directions to go in. But being in reverse, this is telling me that we don't even have the energy to choose a direction. We don't have an energy to even make a plan. We are so burnt out. We are so tired as a collective. And so before we can do anything, we need to take the time for ourselves so we can work from a clear-headed perspective. Next out, I actually have the Empress and the High Priestess, both in reverse. Again, both telling me that these are things that are going to be really, really important, not only for this lunar cycle, this new moon to full moon cycle, but also as a larger collective. These are things that we need to be focusing on. And those two things are getting in touch with our intuition and getting in touch with our creativity. So first, I want to talk about getting in touch with your intuition. This is developing your internal world. This is developing an internal language between you and spirit. And whether that is God, source, creator, ghosts, whoever that, ancestors, whoever that is, this is strengthening your connection. And this is being able to receive things that come up in your subconscious and being able to transmute them into productive actions. So then we have the Empress, and she is all about creativity, birth, right? To have a clear vision, then we can start birthing things. We can start bringing things into creation. We can bring new ideas. We can bring a more love into the world. We can start to love each other, but we need to have that clear vision working with us first so we can make those clear and conscious choices. And both of these cards also have to do with self. This has nothing to do with anybody around you. This has nothing to do with anything outside of your personal development. So if we all work on personal development and being better people, then we can show up in the world as better people, therefore creating better societies, better communities. But we have to do the work at home first. You can't just show up in the world as your dysregulated self and pointing fingers and hollering at people, because none of us are perfect. We are all human. But the more we do this internal work, the more we can develop a community and society that we want to truly live and thrive in. Finally, I have a herbology card, and this is Mace. This is all about bringing success into the space. So once we have this clear vision, clear direction, we have all the fire we need to be able to bring it into play. And like I said, a collective vision is going to work more quickly than an individual vision, right? So finding our communities, making sure we all have the same general vision. I don't want to have, quite like a hive mind, right? We all still need to be individuals, but having a common vision for what we want society to look like and what we want the future to look like. So I hope this was helpful, and happy Lunar New Year, happy new moon in Aquarius. I will see you all next time. Love you. Bye.